Hey exceptions, happy Friday. Lena here. So today I'm going to talk about a couple of really mind-opening things I've learned about how I what I believe about needs and expressing needs and yeah, like how my beliefs of about that were kind of planted in me from childhood. Um, so yeah, it really is an open discussion, by the way, right? But I want to start off by saying, I'm a highly sensitive person, so this is a genetic trait that 20% of people have. It's not just BS, right? It's that if you are easily startled by certain triggers like crowds or certain environments or loud noises, right? That's one kind of sensitivity. My particular kind of sensitivity is being very, very, very present to people's judgments and expectations, and causing a lot of shame in myself. So, maybe this is a personality thing, right? Like for me, for me, like I had this quality of watching TV shows, interacting with family, and coming up with these very, very, very high ethical and moral standards of how to behave. And I actually used to watch Asian TV shows where it would show people like dying for the people they love, and that seemed to, that maybe gave me some kind of image that, oh, everybody should do that. Guess what, like not a lot of people do that, right? So, and one of the things I felt ashamed about for a long time is that I wouldn't jump in front of a bus to save anybody, because I am just very I feel fear easily, right? And I fear pain and hardship. Let's just say that. I think so many people are not fans of that either. But it's just like, because of this like fear, it's hard for me to put myself in this overstimulating situation where I'm literally jumping in front of a bullet, in front of a person to take a bullet for them. Not that that can't be trained, but it's just I used to feel so bad about it. uh, and and really, like in real life, if you're anywhere like me, in real life, people are a lot, let's just say, looking out for themselves, especially like, in places like America, right? Like individualist countries. I'm from Canada, right? So, being realistic and reframing things that way can help. Yeah, and I'm a person who, because I have these high standards, and actually I'm a pretty judgmental person, like deep down, subconsciously. I I feel shame quite easily. Like when I don't match certain social or family expectations, I feel very ashamed. And as a kid, when a lot of families like to point out to kids what they did wrong, where they can improve, where they failed, etc. And like my family specifically, especially at the grandparents level, they believe their responsibility as caretakers is to make the kids independent, make them strong, right, to face the hardships of life, and not pretty anything up, or like be dishonest, like being brutally honest with the kids so that they can learn and grow. And I think for myself, what kind of went wrong in that communication is, each time they would say something I did wrong, I would have the interpretation that I'm worthless, stupid, failure, right? I'm not good enough, right? It's like it's kind of loaded, and also other things they say to me, right? Like being spoiled, ungrateful, right? Weak, right? Let's just say, like Asian culture probably does not have the greatest tolerance of quote unquote weak people. Like even in American culture too. So it's like, you know, um, yeah, it wasn't fun. Let's just say that. And I've recently needed to resolve a lot of resentment and anger I had towards family because they raised me that way and not in a more encouraging way, like the psychologists these days are saying, right? They're saying like kids really do need, encouragement and nurturing and faith and support. And I'm gonna say right now, like I tried, addressing that with family. They're not like it's not likely that they're going to change because for them, praise and encouragement is like lying, right? There's a negative bias. That negative bias has kept them alive for so long. Why change it, right? It's helped them look long term. So, I'm not gonna. I can see where they're coming from there. But at the same time, being very these days I've been learning to be quite firm about my needs and my boundaries, right? Not overcommitting to things, right? Because I've literally like, what really sent me into depression in the last 7 years was living for them and not myself. When in fact there were some there were things that were very important to me, right? Like living a life and career of service and creativity. Like artists, like not just in the Asian culture, but artists around the world are looked down upon. Like they're not the ones who make income per se. And, the service oriented people are not really like, they're not valued as much as like, lawyers, engineers, like the standard stable careers. So, I had to learn how to, in order to get out of depression, I had to learn how to live for myself. Because, like, when I was living for other people for that long of a time, my energy was, like, cut down by, like, 80%. I was miserable at my job. Um, it just wasn't, yeah, like, life wasn't something I looked forward to, and I wanted to end it. So it's like either I end it or I end the life that is, killing me on the inside. So I decided to end that lifestyle of living for others because truth to be told, like, we can, our parents may argue that that we owe them something for raising us, but no one chose for them to raise us, right? Like we didn't choose for them to raise us. We didn't choose for them to be born. You know, like, uh, we didn't choose for ourselves to be born, and ultimately we're here to figure out our lives with or without parents, right? It's like if parents help us when they enjoy it, when they're doing it out of obligation. It's like, parents, maybe you can do something for yourself too, right? But it's like now we need to figure out this whole life thing on our own. And, the whole filial piety thing, like loyalty to family, right? I mean, it sounds all nice and good, except there's potential for a lot of abuse there too, right? It's like, what if parents are absolutely abusive or neglectful or, um, keep putting the kid down, like, just creating so much misery, right? It's like at some point we need to like set the boundaries and hold them accountable too. Um, so now the way I see my needs is, yes, I do need warmth and encouragement and support, and also, you know, um, the ideally like people close to me, if they have a way to soothe my anxiety, right? That's really really helpful. Otherwise, I need to soothe my own anxiety around people and how I look in front of people. Um, yeah. What else is I gonna say? Yeah, I think I lost my train of thought. Give me a sec. Yeah, right. Being in a state where you like, this is what I believe, right? Like each of us, we are responsible for meeting our own needs, right? If no one is giving us the warmth and encouragement, support we need, we can give that to ourselves or find Be open to friends, like, friends who I've had many friends who are very emotionally and verbally supportive and willing to hear me out about my needs and willing to take them seriously, right? And these are the people I want to hang out with. So being open to help from these kinds of people, generous people who enjoy being generous, right? I don't want someone to ever do something for me out of obligation. I don't like that, because I don't like be living under obligation, right? But yeah, like having these people, being open to these people being in your life, right? That's something I'm still learning, because sometimes there are things that I find hard to forgive myself for. Um, so it's like, if I tell someone, maybe they'll eat me alive. Like, so I'm still learning here. But anyways, I hope this video helped. You know, if you've got more questions or comments, or you'd like to talk about your own situation, feel free to DM me or leave a comment below. We're more than happy to help you out here. So anyways, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. You made it. It's wonderful. So yeah, see you around. See you again next week. Talk to you later.